ICC T20 World Cup in Australia started over the weekend, and it's already produced a couple of upsets, which makes it very, very exciting from a fan's point of view. To talk more about this, he's the senior cricket writer for the Indian Express, Chandresh. Narayan. Thank you very much for joining us again on Talk 100.3.
Thanks a lot for having me.
No, it's great to have you on. What a result we had this morning. Scotland have called it perhaps the biggest win in their cricketing career, defeating the West Indies. I don't think anyone saw this coming, but, I mean, the West Indies are a real chance now of not making it through, aren't they?
Absolutely. West Indies and even Sri Lanka. Both Sri Lanka and West Indies need to be very careful. Sri Lanka lost to Namibia on the first day of the tournament, the first game, and now West Indies have lost to Scotland. So both former champions on the edge, so to speak.
It is exciting. We go back to that one of the early matches. We saw the UAE. Well, I thought they were down and out, only making 111 against the Netherlands. Netherlands then absolutely, they lost a few wickets before they ended up winning with one ball to spare. You know, an exciting game of cricket. I do tend to like this sort of qualifying period because you get to see these second-tier nations. They're playing for so much.
Yeah, absolutely right. They're playing for a lot, and if they do get through to the second round, that's a victory in itself for them. So the first round in ways is an exciting time because sides like Sri Lanka, West Indies are on the edge. You could have sides like Ireland also under pressure now because they lost to Zimbabwe. All in all, it's an exciting phase for T20 cricket internationally.
I think it certainly is, but when you look at some of the major nations, a lot of questions going around. The defending champions, Australia, they lost to England. Would have been 3-0 if it wasn't for the rain, and they're still having some question marks about their batting order. Are they? How do you look at their chances as the defending champions going into the tournament?
I think as defending champions, Australia have problem of plenty. They don't know what to do with Steve Smith. They don't know what to do with Marcus Stoinis. And someone like a Cameron Green did quite well in few of the games that he played against India in India. And there's a lot of clamour for him to come into the 11. So Australia has a problem of plenty. And there are some other teams which don't have a problem of plenty, which have a problem of injuries and loss of form. So it's an exciting time. And I think that Australia, even despite all these problems and losing the series against England, they start as, in my book at least, the favourite for the tournament.
Now, Chandresh, you mentioned two key points here. One, injuries, and the other being the big nations. India is definitely one of them, considering the warm-up match that they played against Australia. Now, Virat Kohli, I want to highlight his fielding performances, that run-out and that single-handed catch that he plucked out. When you look at a recent report that came out, which says that he scored the highest fitness standards, 23 of his teammates went to NCA for rehab in 2021-22. Virat Kohli, he's still leading that lineup in terms of setting an example for the youth as well as the experienced in fielding, isn't it? In fitness and fielding.
Absolutely. Today's fielding efforts was a testimony to the thing that you spoke about. And I think that Virat Kohli once again highlights the fact that in the absence of, say, Ravindra Jadeja is India's best outfielder right now. And I think that the way he effected a run out or the catch he took in the last over was fantastic, out of the world. And I think that it sure means good tidings for India because happy Virat Kohli in good space means good news for Indian cricket.
Also going into the match, we know that the tickets for the Pakistan-India match at the MCG sold out in about 2.5 seconds or 100,000. This is going to be an absolute blockbuster of the match. How does the Indian cricket side prepare? Do they prepare differently when they come up against Pakistan compared to the other sides?
I'm very disappointed. I thought that you were going to offer me some tickets on Sunday.
SCG, I can help you. I'm from Sydney. I can't help you with the MCG.
Okay, no worries. Anyways, with regards to the Pakistan game, let me just tell you, all the hype around an India-Pakistan match lasts till about a minute before the first ball is bowled. The moment first ball is delivered, people then realize that it's just another game. It's about bat and ball, a contest between bat and ball. So India doesn't prepare differently. Pakistan doesn't prepare differently. It's just the hype before the game that seems to last till about the first ball is bowled.
Chandresh, I have to ask you about that preparations with regards to Pakistan. Their warm-up game against England, they conceded about 90 odd runs in the final 6 or 7 overs. Poor fielding efforts coming in from the players. Shaheen Shafridi, he's recovered and he's just coming back into the team. They don't have much time before that India versus Pakistan game. Anything different they can do compared to what they did against England in the warm-up?
If I were you, or if I had anything to do with cricket, I would scrap the concept of warm-ups or make it mandatory for them to make it 11 versus 11. Because warm-up matches mean nothing, counts are nothing. I'll give you an example. 2009 T20 World Cup. In the warm-up game, India absolutely thrashed Pakistan by 9 wickets. And in the final, what happened was Pakistan won the tournament and India didn't even make it in the semi-final. So make what you want to make of it. But the warm-up matches, they're just really that, warm-ups, for teams to get their game plans in place and so on and so forth. So I wouldn't really place much importance in the result or the performance in a warm-up match.
But could it also be something to do with the mindset of the players going in or the preparations? Because we saw how India's first game in last year's T20 World Cup came up against Pakistan, and a lot of the players had only played IPL before that. So there was, you call it either a fatigue of cricket or a lack of opportunity to prepare for this big game. What is it going to be this time?
I think it is going to be the keenest encounter that we've seen between India and Pakistan. I think we start off on even keel because right now in the Asia Cup, Pakistan beat India once, India beat Pakistan once, and both were close contests. I think that it is going to be a chance to break the deadlock for 2022. And what better way than on the first day of the second phase of the tournament starting on 23rd October.
One question that I have in mind, everyone's looking at the big teams and the big games, England, Australia. There's Afghanistan versus Bangladesh. This is something we have to keep an eye out, isn't it? For Afghanistan, they've managed to score 160 against Bangladesh, and Bangladesh absolutely demolished here. They were about 60 for 6 at 1 and then 98 for 9 after 20 overs. Afghanistan, they're proving themselves to be a big team. The run they had in Asia Cup, and then their bowler, the Fazal Haq Farooqi, he's been a revelation for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, he's been a big revelation for them. And again, Afghanistan is a side that is improving. And in this T20 World Cup, they will upset a few sides. They will attempt to upset a few sides. So I'm not sure if they will succeed. Bangladesh, on the other hand, is struggling in T20 cricket. They're trying to reset their grammar in the T20 format. So both sides are at different ends of the spectrum right now with regards to T20 cricket. So it's going to be interesting to see how they perform in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a fantastic, fantastic World Cup. Can we offer any predictions out of Group A? Who can you see going through? Will it be Namibia, maybe alongside Sri Lanka?
Yeah, I think Namibia and Sri Lanka should be the sides to look forward to from Group A. And I think from Group B, despite their loss, I think West Indies and Zimbabwe could get through to the second stage from Group B.
Well, yeah, I think that'd be great for Zimbabwe. They're a country that have had a lot of turmoil. They were once one of the top-tier nations, and they've faded again. So I think to see them back at the business end of the tournament would be a great thing for the players and Zimbabwe in cricket in general. Chandresh Narayan, the senior cricket writer for Indian Express, thanks again for joining us on Talk 100.3.
Anytime.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So there he is, the senior cricket writer for the Indian Express, Chandresh Narayan, and I'm getting excited. I think that when you see those upsets, not to take anything away from the UAE men's side or the West Indies, but World Cups are about seeing that little nation that have made it to the big tournament and taking down some of the big sides.
Absolutely, Kitch. The last 5 or 6 months, there was no excuse for me to wake up at 7 in the morning. But I can tell you what, with the T20 World Cup coming up, it's already started. And as we get into that Super 12 stages, you can expect a lot of early morning starts for a lot of people.
TSB, Talk Sport Business. You're on Talk 100.3. Great to have